Welcome to Rising from the Rubble, the podcast where we share real life stories of people who have faced life-changing events like burnout, redundancy, depression, and found a way to rise stronger than before. I'm your host, Maria Newman, and as a coach, I help individuals navigate life's toughest transitions. Whilst listening to this podcast, you'll hear inspiring stories and coaching insights that will empower you to reclaim your confidence, redefine your future, and rise from your own rubble. It's now time to sit back, relax, and enjoy listening to our episode. How often have you experienced the following? You read an email and your stomach drops. A message from a friend doesn't feel right. A colleague says something that lands in the wrong way. And just like that, something small turns into something that follows you around all day. And what do? You replay it. You analyze it to death. You start building a case in your head, and before you know it, you've made a mountain out of a molehill. And so you ask, was it actually that big? Or did it become big because of how it was seen? It's not just what happened. My clients are capable, experienced, and used to handling a lot. They run businesses. They lead teams, they make decisions daily. Yet when tension shows up, everything changes. Their emotions take control, they make assumptions to fill the gaps, they find it difficult to communicate. And suddenly, a situation that could have been handled in minutes becomes something much bigger and far more draining. The problem has taken control and life feels out of control. The interesting thing is, most of the time, the problem is not the problem, it's perspective. The traps most people fall into when something goes wrong is that they naturally look at it from one place, their own perspective. From here, it feels really clear. It's, you know what's happened. You know how it felt. You know what needs to change. So, you defend your position. You assume that you are right. You question the other person's behaviour. To you, this makes total sense. And yet, it also keeps you stuck because you're only seeing one part of the picture. So what changes everything? Imagine deciding before anything else that the outcome needs to work for everyone, not just you. Let me share a little framework with you that is really simple and practical and changes how you deal with difficult situations. It's about making the situation be seen from 3 different perspectives. And by using this framework, you will stop reacting, start responding, and see solutions far more easily. So, first, step into your own shoes, because your experience matters. So by being in your position, seeing the situation from your own eyes, I want you to ask yourself, what am I feeling here? What outcome do I actually want? What assumptions am I making? Then, from this step, you can understand how you see the situation without judgment or blame. Because when you understand your own perception, your own position, you stop reacting from a place of emotion and start recognizing what's really going on for you. Then I want you to step into their shoes. This is the part where people might feel a little bit of resistance because they think it's about agreeing with the other person, when in fact it's about understanding their position. It's about seeing the situation as if you were them. So, step out of your shoes into their shoes and ask yourself, how might they be seeing this situation? What could they be concerned about? What outcome might they want? This helps the tension to soften. You can then begin to realize they're not trying to create an issue. Instead, you see that they are responding from their own reality. And that changes how you show up next time. So you've seen it from your position, you've seen it from their position. It's now time to remove yourself completely and take a step back and observe. Look at the situation as an independent observer. Imagine watching the situation play out with you on the outside, without emotion and without attachment. And from that position, I want you to ask yourself, what is actually happening here? What would someone who is neutral notice? And what solution might make sense to both parties? From this position, you can make better decisions because you no longer are inside the situation and you are no longer filled with the emotion of being inside the situation. You're leading from a different perspective. So let me give you a very simple explanation example to help you recognize how you can see things differently. You send an email and the reply comes back and it feels very short and abrupt. And your first thought is, they're being rude. And then you pause. From their side, you might realize that they might be under pressure. They may have misunderstood something. They might be reacting to a completely unrelated issue. And from the observer's view, you might say, it's a brief response. No tone can truly be confirmed. A follow-up could clear everything up really quickly. Same situation, 3 completely different interpretations. One leads to frustration, the others lead to resolution. So 5 ways to handle this better, starting from now, would be to pause before responding. Give yourself space to think clearly instead of reacting instantaneously to what has literally just happened. Challenge your first assumption. Your initial interpretation is not always accurate. Ask better questions. Focus on asking good questions, as the answers will reduce the conflict faster than guessing ever will. Focus on outcome, not ego. Decide what you actually want to achieve from the situation. Focus on the outcome, not on who is right. And use all 3 perspectives every time. When you look at a situation from 3 perspectives, you are more likely to see what is going on. So I invite you next time, where you might be in a situation that feels awkward, uncomfortable, difficult, look at it from 3 different perspectives in order to allow yourself to get more information and to be able to see the bigger picture. You see, when I work with my clients, I use this framework for them to deal with tricky conversations, awkward work situations, and where communication is broken down. And we apply this framework step by step. I guide them to separate facts from assumptions. And as humans, we are amazing at making assumptions. We love to plug the gaps because uncertainty makes us feel uncomfortable. I help them to understand what's really driving themselves as well as what's driving the other person. And I help them to respond in a way that creates movement instead of friction. And the result is that the situation is handled faster because they are actually communicating more clearly and they can feel more in control. And most importantly, they stop carrying unnecessary stress from the situation that they would never have to see such a big issue come from something that potentially could have been resolved more quickly. So the next time where you think you're entering a problem, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what does this look like from my perspective? What does this look like from their perspective? What does this look like from an outsider's perspective? You don't need more effort. You just need to look at things differently, because the solution often appears the moment you step outside your own perspective. Thank you for listening to Rising from the Rubble. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Also, remember to download your free life assessment. Just click the link in the description to get started. Take care, and remember, every setback is an opportunity for growth. I'll see you next time.